Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Winnie Wonders. Lately, it feels like Vietnam's weather has gone a little crazy. The heat waves last longer, the storms hit harder, and floods in the central region seem to come every single year. That's not just bad luck, that's climate change. Our planet is getting warmer, little by little, and it's starting to show. So today, let's talk about what's causing it, what it's doing to us, and what we can do about it. One big reason is greenhouse gas emissions, gases like carbon dioxide and methane that trap heat in the air. In Vietnam, a lot of them come from motorbikes, cars, and factories. You can just walk down any street in Ho Chi Minh City at rush hour. Thousands of motorbikes idling in traffic. That's all carbon dioxide being released. Another major cause is burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas. We burn them to make electricity or run machines, but that releases a huge amount of carbon dioxide. For example, Nissan Thermal Power Plant in Tân Hoa and Vung Ong Power Plant in Ha Tinh still run mainly on coal, producing both energy and emissions. And in the north, several large industrial parks around Thanh Nguyen and Haiphong still rely heavily on coal and oil for production. We also talk about our carbon footprint, the total amount of carbon dioxide we personally create. Every time you take your motorbike instead of the bus, or keep the air conditioner on all night, you increase your carbon footprint. Think about it. One household might not make a big difference, but millions of households together, that adds up fast. Then there's deforestation, when we cut down too many trees. In the Central Highlands, many forests have been cleared for coffee and rubber farming, especially around Gia Lai and Dak Lak. When trees disappear, we lose our natural air cleaners that absorb carbon dioxide. And finally, industrial waste. Some factories still release untreated wastewater straight into rivers, like parts of the Dong Nai River, where textile and chemical plants discharge waste that harms both fish and local communities. In the past, pollution incidents from Formosa Ha Tinh or smaller dyeing factories in Bingzong have reminded us how dangerous unregulated industrial waste can be. All of this leads to rising sea levels and extreme weather events, hotter summers, stronger storms, and heavier floods. Remember the floods in central Vietnam in 2020? That was one of the worst in decades. Thousands of homes underwater in Quang Tri and Tu Tien Hue. We're also losing animals and plants. That's the loss of biodiversity. When forests disappear, species like pangolin or tete are losing their homes fast. Worse, illegal hunting and wildlife trafficking still happen. Pangolin scales are trafficked for traditional medicine, elephant ivory is turned into jewelry, and parts of endangered animals are used in cosmetics or so-called miracle remedies. These practices not only destroy nature, but they also push many species to the edge of extinction. But there's good news. We do have solutions. Vietnam is investing more in renewable energy sources, like solar and wind. If you've ever been to Ninh Thuan or Binh Thuan, you've probably seen huge wind turbines and solar farms stretching to the horizon, built by companies like Chungnam Group and Bamboo Capital. That's clean energy. It doesn't pollute or run out. We can also use energy-efficient appliances, LED bulbs, inverter air conditioners, or smart meters, things that save electricity while doing the same job. And we should support the waste recycling system so less trash ends up in landfills. In Ho Chi Minh City, districts like Binh Tong and Tu Duc are already testing new recycling programs where people separate trash right at home. Plus, improving our public transportation system makes a big difference. When more people take the bus or the metro, like the new Metro Line 1, we reduce both traffic and pollution. And here's something simple but powerful. Join a tree planting campaign. In Hanoi, thousands of students take part in the 1 Million Trees for Vietnam program every spring, making the city greener and cooler. But here's the truth. Individual actions aren't enough. We also need stronger environmental policies from the government, laws that control pollution and encourage clean energy. Vietnam is already tightening emission standards for factories and vehicles. And there's also something called a carbon tax, where companies must pay for the pollution they create, making them think twice before wasting energy. Of course, we also need international cooperation. Vietnam works with Japan and the European Union on renewable energy and clean water projects. These efforts are part of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, global goals to protect our planet and build a better future. At world climate summits called Conferences of the Parties, leaders share their progress. At COP26 in Glasgow, Vietnam promised to reach net zero by 2050, a big goal, but an important one. So, yes, climate change is real, but it's not hopeless. We can't change the past, but we can shape the future. Turn off a light, take the bus, plant a tree. Every small step counts, because protecting the planet doesn't start with them. It starts with us. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Winnie Wonders.